Hi, everybody. I'm Corinne.
And I'm Tamina.
And together we are Embracing Genesis. So we've been sitting here discussing what happens when you have this list of priorities that you need to get done, and it seems like it's just so much, and then you become overwhelmed.
I know that feeling. I know the feeling.
Okay. So the thing is, we want to make sure that you know that, one, it's okay for you to feel that way. And two, we don't want you to stay there.
Right.
Because what happens is you get all this stuff. You have life, you have work, you have your vision. And all of this stuff feels like it's just kind of crowding on top of you. But the thing is, there is a way that you can work through that process so you don't quit. Because we do not want you to quit. Your vision is waiting.
Absolutely. You know what? This is, when you talk about work, like I felt anxiety rising because I'm in the midst of having to do a full-time job and then having to do this over here. And then on top of that, my mind is bombarded with vision right now. And so it's just like, I just want to chase it. I want to do the things I need to do. I want to crush my box, right? And so I have to remind myself when I'm feeling overwhelmed with the tasks that I need to complete for my 9 to 5, as well as for my own personal visions, and then for the visions of other people's life, I have to stop sometimes and just recenter myself, bring myself to a place of calm to say, Vina, it's okay. Breathe, chick. Because, you know, sometimes I can move and not breathe like I'm Superwoman. And, no, I can't take a bullet and live. Like, I die too, you know? So it's just like, when you become overwhelmed, it's okay to take those times to say, I got this. I can do this. You know, one of the things that mindfulness practices, and that's something that you're really good with, mindfulness. So like in those moments where you're feeling kind of overwhelmed, what's a tip that we can all do? That what's going to benefit me? You know, forget y'all right now. Yo, give me a tip. What's going to help me?
Okay, well, first, let me tell y'all what mindfulness is. So mindfulness is being present in the moment without the moment taking over. So for instance, the thing that I keep at the forefront of my mind is stop, breathe, and process. Like that is my own personal little...
I don't know why I'm laughing, but I'm going to tell y'all why I'm laughing real quick. I'm really about to listen to you because you got your Badu vibe on. And so because you got your Badu vibe on, I don't know if you burning sage or what, but y'all better listen to this because she got the look. She about to teach us some stuff. So hold on, let me turn myself around. What you got, Rian? Okay,
well, let me start over.
Okay.
Let me get serious. Okay. Mindfulness.
Okay, I'm done. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. As you can see, we are not present in the moment. Okay,
I'm recentering myself to become present in the moment.
Mindfulness is being present in the moment without the moment overtaking you.
Like this laughter that's trying to overtake me right now. Okay. I'm not going to look at you because but I know it's about to be good, so I'm going to look at the camera.
Okay, so what I do, my personal model is to stop, breathe, and then process. Okay. So what happens I'm going to just tell you what happens when I feel the anxiety rising, and you know, and it's a physical thing, you can feel it. And so what happens is I have to stop. So everything that I'm thinking in that moment, I stop. Okay. If I'm doing something in that moment, I stop. If I have to step away for a second, I just like, excuse me, I'll be right back. The whole point is to stop whatever it is that you're feeling, thinking, going through in that moment. And then you breathe. So what it is you find some place comfortable. Okay. And if you're at work, just find a quiet place, because if you're at work, of course, you can't be there that long. So find a quiet place. If you can, make sure the lights are dim or you're in a nicely lit place, someplace that kind of feels like you can relax a little bit. Okay. And then you just, if you're able to sit. If not, stand somewhere where you can kind of center yourself, where you feel your core, and you just take the time to just feel each breath go in and each breath go out. And you do that as many times as possible, as many times as you need to, until you start to feel yourself to calm down. Okay. The whole purpose is to concentrate on your breaths and not what's flowing through your mind. And so therefore you're not thinking about, oh my goodness, she just made me mad, or I got to get this project done and I don't have enough time, or any of that. In that moment, all you're concentrating on is your breath, how it's making your body feel, until you get to that place where you can relax.
So you're recentering your focus on your breathing,
yes,
and not what's going all through your mind.
No,
okay,
not all what's going through your mind. Like, get yourself to that center place. And if this is your first time doing something like that, it takes practice, because the first thing you want to do is you're in a quiet place. Now you just want to think.
Right.
But the point is to cut all of that out for that moment. And then, so you stopped, you have now breathed. Now let's process. Let's process what it is that you just experienced. So you felt overwhelmed because you had a project that you had to do. Now that you're calm and have a moment to really think, now you can process out what the steps are what steps are needed for you to move forward.
That makes sense.
Okay, and in that way, you can go back to your project. One, you're calm.
Mm-hmm.
You've centered yourself, and you've worked through the process. So, and then another thing that I usually like to tell myself is acknowledge how you feel, but act on what you know. Meaning, if it's something you can't control.
I feel like Oprah. Can we repeat that and tweet that out?
Yeah.
Acknowledge how you feel.
Acknowledge how you feel, but act on what you know. Meaning, it's okay to be emotional, but don't act on those emotions, because sometimes they can give you a false sense of what's really going on.
Okay.
So if you're afraid of something, for instance, fear is a false sense. Fear is the thing that keeps you from moving forward or progressing. So therefore, if you feel like this project is just too big, I can't do it, and it makes you feel afraid of it, you have to be able to say, okay, this is what I feel. I'm scared of this, you know what I'm saying? Figure out why and move past that. But just act on what you know. If I take this in little chunks, would I be able to get it accomplished? You know you can do that. Do it that way.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I hope that made sense. But that's pretty much how
it
I work through the process.
It made sense to me, y'all.
Yeah.
If it didn't make sense to you, just message her. Don't message me. I don't do it like that. But you know, they always say fear is false evidence appearing real.
Exactly.
So just having that moment to recenter yourself, to refocus, to know, hey, this is not my reality.
Exactly.
And recenter and refocus on your reality can make stuff happen. There's a quote, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but it talks about how you can't calm the storm,
Mm-hmm.
but what you can calm is what's within you,
Yes.
right? And so part of practicing mindfulness is being able to calm and recenter yourself.
Exactly.
Because you cannot control what's on the outside.
Exactly.
And a lot of times we spend so much time focused on things that we do not have control over, what you call it your circle of control, or you can say your circle of influence,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when you can focus on the things that you have control over, which is you,
Mm-hmm.
and center yourself upon those things, then you are going to find yourself in a much better predicament.
Exactly. And so therefore, if you feel like there's people, places, things that get you triggered, you have to remember you can't control other people's behavior. You can't control what people say. You can't control how the situation is in the place that you're at. You know what I'm saying? You can't control how the weather's going to be that day. You know what I'm saying?
No,
but
like today.
Exactly. But you can control what's going on within you. But if you feel like you just can't quite get control of it on your own, get help. Because there are plenty of people out there, professionals, who can help you work through those emotions, give you tips and tools to work through those things, and give you practices that you can use on a daily basis to help you work through those emotions. Because there's nothing wrong with feeling and being emotional. You just have to learn how to work through those feelings. And it's just called emotional intelligence. That's all it is.
And one of the things that I think it's worthy or very important to say, let's put it, it's very vital to say right now, is it's okay if you need help, to seek the help that you need. You need to normalize being able to go to therapy or whatever you need to make sure that you can be the best version of you that you possibly can be. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'd just like to add that no one is putting a superhero cape on your back unless you allow them to. And no one is expecting you to be the all superwoman, never break down, never have a moment. It's okay to be vulnerable.
I thought that I was able to do that.
No, you're not. Because next thing you know, you'll be eating kryptonite and crying. No. You know what I'm saying? You have to have those moments where you could just be and I'm gonna just be honest, if you walking around here talking about something, I'm strong and independent, you're lying to yourself, because no one is all of that. They're not. So
you have to take those moments to, like we said at the very beginning, recenter, refocus.
Yes.
All of us. It's not one person that you can move. I'm a mover. But I promise you, there's times that I have to sit my behind down to just say, all right, let's look at your list of things that you have to do. Yes. And let's prioritize this. And it's not the prioritizing that you do, because, we're two different type of planners. Yes. But I definitely have my moments where I have to reset, refocus, recenter, rethink, whatever, re-energize, rebirth, renew, whatever that you got going, it has to happen. It has to take place. But we hope that this video on prioritizing and just looking through the lens of feeling overwhelmed and what can you do on those moments of being overwhelmed, we pray that it bless you and it helps you out. As always, please make sure you follow us on social media. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. We are on Facebook
and Twitter,
Instagram,
and YouTube.
So thank you all for joining us for another quick video on prioritizing through the lens of feeling overwhelmed. Have a wonderful evening.
Good night. Bye.